Bergen County is one of the wealthiest counties in New Jersey, but it's also at the center of a growing battle over affordable housing. And few organizations have a closer view of the impact than Family Promise of Bergen County. Joining us now to share their experience and what it reveals about the broader struggle for affordable housing in New Jersey are Paul Shackford, board president of Family Promise of Bergen County, and Kate Duggan, who is the organization's executive director. Good morning to the two of you. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you. You know, when I see the word homelessness, I get a chill because it would have been terrible and horrible and difficult at any other time. But when you look at the cost of housing and the shortage of housing today, it literally sends a bit of nausea in the pit of my stomach because I can only imagine the families struggling right now, facing homelessness. What kind of need are you seeing right now? Who would like to take that first? Kate, would you like to start with that?
Sure. So, as you said, we're in one of the most expensive counties in the nation, actually. And the fair market rent for a really modest two-bedroom apartment is over $2,000 a month. And knowing that a person would have to make almost $40 an hour to be able to afford an apartment of that cost, which translates into making about $83,000 a year.
And I know, and Pam, you could go back and forth. I'm sorry, bring everybody on. It's always a challenge when we're in three different locations, but I want to make sure we get everybody on here. It is always a challenge when you want to build or create moderate or low income housing, because I know everybody in an area right away feels it's going to bring crime or it's going to lower the property values. Now, in some cases, you do have people struggling with addiction who end up homeless, but everybody who's homeless is not an addict. That's the thing. And I think people have to stop conflating. You have a lot of people who are homeless and a lot of people who are addicted, but working very hard to get out of it. That doesn't mean they deserve to live in the streets. And this is the issue. So I can only imagine how challenging that must be for you to take all of that into account and deal with all of the issues from many communities, especially in wealthier areas.
You know, in fact, Ken, one of the reasons that we hardly ever use the H word, homeless, is exactly what you said, because people, they freeze up. They all go to the perceptions that they have. And we live close to New York City, and many people assume that that's the homeless population. In fact, we deal mostly with.
Ooh,
Did we lose Paul?
it looks like it.
Yeah.
So let me
All
tell you
right,
what
Pam.
he's
You
doing
want to
is
pick up? You want to pick up where he left off right there, Kate?
Sure. So I think what happens is people fall back on some stereotypes about who actually is experiencing homelessness right now. And in fact, just about any of us in a wealthy area like this, and frankly across the nation, could become homeless. When it costs so much for housing, it just takes one family breakup, a job loss, a sick kid, that would prevent someone from working and spiral into homelessness. I read an article recently that well over 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning that once they pay the bills, there's nothing left. So you can understand why one small hiccup can send a family spiraling into losing their home.
Yeah, all you need at that point is a relative to pass away and you have to pay for a funeral or a car accident or anything like that, a fire, God forbid, and that's it. That's all it takes, and you're done. You folks had a vision of turning a vacant building in Emerson into transitional housing and offices. What made that location such a good fit for the program?
Well, it was in a perfect location. It was close to public transportation, shopping, houses of worship, parks, medical care, and so on. It was really a perfect place for us. But, you know, it turns out that we think many of the people just don't understand the issue of homelessness. And those are the perceptions that we talked about. So we continue our
Mhm.
search. We continue our search to find a place where we can build a family promise center and help more people.
Now, in fairness to some of the communities, there are people in some cases, not all by any stretch, but there are some people who are homeless because of mental health issues or because of addiction. But there are programs to help them as well, right? So that what would you tell people who have the NIMBY mentality, so that they understand that these folks are trying. Usually, I mean, my experience as a reporter when I was with ABC, what I would encounter is the people who want housing are not the people necessarily with the mental health issues, because the people with the mental health issues are genuinely, they don't want to be touched. Many of them just want to be on the streets. The people who want housing are just the opposite. They're the people trying to get back on their feet, right?
Absolutely.
That's for sure. As you said, there's programs for people with mental illness, also those struggling with addiction. But Family Promise of Bergen County deals with working families. These families are trying their darndest to make ends meet, and they're just unable to do it. So, an important component of our program is to really identify those issues that contributed to a family becoming homeless. Do they need
Mhm.
a higher income? So they need some job training. Do they need reliable transportation? We have a robust car donation program. Do they need help managing their money? We have an financial education program that helps families save money, manage their money, and really become financially independent.
Well, and how could people get involved, whether through advocacy, volunteering, maybe just making a donation, or helping spread the word? What can people do? Do you have a website? How can people reach out and help?
Well, we do have a website, bergenfamilypromise.org, so people can volunteer. They can call and get in touch with us that way. I think it's important to understand also, Ken, that um, we see and interact with homeless people every day, or people that are
Mhm.
really struggling. And these are not just the people that you might see on the street, which we often don't here, but they're cashiers, they're bank tellers, they're teachers. There are many, many people that are struggling. Um, so what we do is we try to meet them where they are. I think one of the most important things that we want people to understand is that there is an issue here in Bergen County. It may be more hidden than in the city, but we do have that issue and we have to face it.
Absolutely. And 9 words, there but for the grace of God go I. And I think that's an important thing to remember. Anything can happen. Look, I had my career yanked out from under my feet a few years ago. And, the reality sinks in that, like, oh, we have bills to pay. What are we going to do? So it can happen to anyone at any time. And God bless you for being there to help people who find themselves in challenging points in their lives. And I think everybody has to just take a deep breath and be patient and really open their hearts and minds and be a little calmer in a circumstance like this. Paul Shackford, board president, and Kate Duggan, executive director, both of Family Promise of Bergen County. We appreciate what you do. Thank you. Come back again, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you
Will
very
do.
much.
Thank you.
You bet.